Hello sailing crew, hello from Fargo, North Dakota. My name's Nick, I'm a heavy haul truck driver. And this is my first mate Dexter. But over Christmas I found your videos and I was absolutely captivated by what you guys are doing. I'm gonna go get back in the truck, it's warmer there. So I'm back in the truck now. It is way warmer in here than it is out there. Probably one of the things that's influenced me more than anything wanting to do this project is just how freaking cold it has been. I'm gonna start off by saying this. Over Christmas, I watched your video, The Irrelevance of Time, and it changed my life. It just awoke something really deep in me that had been hidden for a long time. For me, the lifestyle and everything, it just hit me both barrels. That's how I want to be. That's how I want to live my life. I've been kind of searching for that answer for a while. I've had two really bad car accidents in my life. The first one happened when I was 19 years old, ended my career in the Navy. The second was back in 2011. I had a pretty successful company going. Actually, I had two businesses going. I had a welding shop and I had a towing business, and I got in a really bad car accident, broke my back, and totally lost everything. And so I've spent the last 5 years just completely rebuilding my life from that point, and I've done it. The thing is out here on the road, I just really came to the realization this isn't where I want to be anymore. I mean, for the time being, it'll do. I'm making a living out here. I'm doing my thing. I'm still having some fun with it. But when I watched that video, The Irrelevance of Time, it brought something back that I had actually really suppressed for a lot of years. You see, when I was a kid, my grandpa had this boat. He built it from a set of plans that he bought in 1962. And the whole time growing up, I was always on this boat climbing around in it. Every time I went over to Grandpa's house, practically, I had to go pull the cover on the boat back, climb up in there and sit behind the wheel. And he'd made an old school, old seaman style wheel that had the wooden spokes on it and the wooden pegs that stick out of it all the way around. And I'd get in there as a kid and pretending that I was fighting off pirates, and I'd have one of my siblings go up through the hatch in the front, and they'd hang a pipe or a broomstick out there and pretend it was a gun. And we just had a time with it. And that doesn't even include the time we spend on the water. We had, went up and go water skiing, everything else, go fishing off of the boat. And so in my childhood, it was a very, very positive experience, and I shared that with my grandpa, who was arguably the most influential person in my life. I don't think anyone else has had anywhere near the influence on me that he has had. When I was a kid, I was that kid that would ask question after question after question, drove everybody crazy asking questions. It's just something I had a talent for. Grandpa and I, we'd watch documentaries, and there were two types we'd watch. One was the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau. That totally just blew my little mind. I mean, seeing the Calypso out there bobbing around in the sea in the little mini submarines, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that someday. And I thought it was so cool and really unfortunate, by the way, what's happened to that boat today. I really hope that they're able to restore it. But the other thing we used to do is we'd sit around and we'd watch World War II documentaries together. And watching those documentaries, I knew that Grandpa was a World War II veteran, and I just started to ask question after question. And pretty soon, I got a lot of answers. And I was really young when a lot of this was going on, 8 or 9 years old. I really didn't understand what a big deal it was then, but I do now, because it would be about 10 years after he died that I found out that I was the only person he'd ever talked to about it. I was the only person he'd ever told anything about it. And if I had known now what I knew, then, I know I would have paid a lot better attention. What I do know is he really instilled a lot of things in me. My love of building things, which ironically my welding skills did not come from the man, because he couldn't weld to save his life almost. His welding was pretty sketchy, to put it nicely. He built that boat from a set of Glenn L plans. And when I was a kid, he gave me a Glenn L plans catalog, and I told him someday that I was going to build this boat, and I was going to take him back to the Philippines where he was in the war so he could see it again someday, because he always told me that he wanted to and was never able to. And obviously I can't do that now, because it was in 1995. I was coming home from getting my scuba diving certification, which is something that happened because of my grandpa. With all the influence he had on me, that's what made me really want to be a diver. And I had gone down to Sea Base in Bonneville. I'd finished getting PADI certified. I was on my way home, and we got the phone call about 30 miles from town that Grandpa had died. And I never forgave myself for that for a lot of years. I never went diving again. I was really not apt to get back into boats. I had the time I spent on them in the Navy, but it just wasn't the same. I almost wound up doing a liveaboard again, but the time wasn't right. Everything was still too fresh because it was only a few years old at that point, and I wasn't ready to do it, if that makes sense. But I told him I was going to build this boat someday, and I told him I was going to take him back to the Philippines. And while I can't take him, I do have some of his pictures, and I do have some music that he recorded, and that's the music that's playing in the background here. It's with his band, the Melodiers. That's why I'm starting this channel as SV Renegade, because the Renegade is going to be a smaller boat I'm going to buy, 30 to 35 feet, somewheres in there, composite hull, something I can buy for anywhere from 10 to 35 grand, somewhere in that neighborhood, put in the water, go sailing on, go run back and forth, which is, outside of that, I really don't know. I've got a lot of stuff to learn there because, to put it very bluntly, my level of sailing experience is really low right now. Any suggestions you guys have, I would love to hear. I did want to add at the end of this here, I really enjoy your guys' videos. I have watched pretty much everything from episode 30 on. I'm still working on some of the really older episodes, but I've worked on all the new episodes. I really enjoy the way you guys put them together. The Irrelevance of Time, absolutely my favorite episode of all of them. It just really, for me, that episode hit home. I've probably watched it 15 to 30 times now, and I share it everywhere. I share it with everybody I can. And I'm like, this is cool. This is something I can really point to that as a pivotal moment in my life where things changed. Because at Christmas, honestly, I had just had a really bad couple of weeks. I'd spent several weeks sitting under an oversized load. It was snowing and blowing. It was just absolutely miserable outside. And this really gave me I think the push when I saw that video. It made it hit probably extra hard, and I've had everybody and their brother trying to talk me out of this, and the more they try and talk me out of this, the more willpower and determination I get to make this thing happen. And I really have to thank you guys for that, because I don't know that without that video, this part of me that I love so much would have ever come back to life. It's kind of strange. I've watched so much of your guys' faces, I feel like I know all of you. And Brady, by the way, I thought it was absolutely hilarious when you said that you've basically rolled burritos across the Pacific. It absolutely cracked me up. And I am hoping to do kind of the same thing. Also, in addition to being a truck driver, I'm also a professional photographer. I'll throw a link to my photography site down in there. And I haven't done as much of it as I'd like to in the last couple of years, and that's one of the things about being in the trucking business that's really bummed me out, is oversized loads move from sunrise to sunset. That means 30 minutes before sunrise, generally you're sitting in the truck ready to go. The second the clock ticks over, you reach down, hit the air handles, release the brakes, put it in gear, and off you go. And then you drive like a crazy man until sunset. My entire day that I can use for taking pictures, gone because of this business. And that has been something that has really bothered me about this side of it. It's the money that can be made at times in this business is absolutely phenomenal, but it has robbed from me some of the things that I really love to do. And my YouTube channel, my Renegade Trucker Show, has been a great outlet for that, but doing this is going to allow me to get back into doing the photography and doing more videography. Just, I know on the boat that I'll have more time to do that kind of stuff because I don't have to be there holding the wheel all day long. And everybody and their brother, believe me, is telling me that I'm nuts, I'm crazy for it, and the more they tell me I'm crazy, the more I want to do it. And that's probably why I'm going to finish this project, because I'm going to go into it with a complete plan that is very methodical, very nailed down, and I'm going to go do it. Hoping that in the long run I can get some sponsorships and everything to help pay for things like the rigging and the winch and the big ticket items that make a boat like this very, very expensive. Anyways, Delos crew, I really love your guys' videos. It's been really awesome watching your adventure, and it's meant a lot to me having you guys share that, because it's something I'm going to be able to point to what you guys have done very specifically. If it wasn't for you guys doing the channel that you're doing, it wouldn't have changed my life like this. I would have never been on this course. I think that it's something that would have remained an interest for years, and I think I would have grown to be an old man always regretting never having done this. It's really given me a renewed sense of purpose and direction in my life, and for that I'm very thankful. Thank you guys so much for sharing so much of your lives with us, because it's just incredible to me, and I really love being along for that adventure, and I'm really hoping that someday we could cross paths and maybe go sail together. I think that would be really cool. I'm going to be based out of Seattle. Seattle's going to be my home port, so it'd be really neat someday to have a picture of the Melodier and Delos sitting right next to each other. That would totally, for me, I think, be having the dream come full circle. So anyways, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.